This is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
Here we go. What's going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook live show. We got 8 games here on the DraftKings main slate. It is Wednesday, Grande, middle of the week. How are we doing, sir?
We're doing, but it's a fun slate. 8 games on DraftKings, 9 on FanDuel. These bigger slates are much more fun, and there's much more substance than the 4 to 5 gamers. So I'm never against these types at all.
Yeah, a lot of different ways you can obviously go when it comes to some of the roster construction. That doesn't mean there isn't some chalk plays on today's slate. Top 3 rostered players on DraftKings tonight, all on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, without Anthony Edwards here and Naz Reid for tonight, so kind of bumping up their ownership. And they draw the Utah matchup, which obviously is also a bit appealing. So we will break it all down.
A lot appealing.
We will break it down for you guys. Grande's got the playbook live over at Fantasy Alarm for you all. If you want to go check it out, if you're an All-Pro subscriber, you get access to that. We appreciate you guys tuning in each and every day here for you. Need some prize fix plays. We'll give you some plays here, Aaron. We got the bet tracker. We got some plays in the bet tracker. I think I haven't put mine in yet.
I haven't done anything yet.
We'll get some plays in the bet tracker. Grande went 3-0 last night, so a good night for Grande. I went 500. Split my picks there. We'll get some picks in there for you. We'll get the prize picks article out for you after the show. Great to see Luka, LeBron, KD. He gets to see Luka, LeBron, and KD. Gotta love that.
We're in H-Town. He's hunting kids in H-Town tonight.
Gotta love that.
Gotta call the FBI.
Good day. I was scared of Ware yesterday. Yeah, that was a tough blowout.
Yeah, I think Preffy called it on the show yesterday. Preffy was spamming about not playing Khalil Ware. Hopefully he's sitting on a boat in like somewhere. Well, he probably wouldn't get there because he wouldn't be able to fly because he wouldn't be able to get their TSA. So hopefully he has a trip planned with all the money that he made by not playing Khalil Ware last night.
Right, fair. Casey says fellas are on a takedown alert. Are you on a takedown alert? Did you take down a contest, Casey? Let us know. You know, you watch the show on Twitter all the time.
I know. Well, he did.
Shoot us a Twitter message, dude.
He did until we bullied him, which I feel terrible about.
I know. But let us know, man. If you had a takedown, dude, let us know. The Prince is here. My Lanes is here, which is a new name every time, right?
Vape. Is it vape? Was it vape? Something? I know it by the dog.
Yeah, I know the image, but the name changes all the time there. So
it was like vape, I think, or something along those lines.
Listening to metal make my player pool here. He's got to listen to some.
Listen to metal. It's all my favorite. Yeah, metal. It's my favorite music. Yeah.
Good afternoon, says Peter. We got hello. Can't decide to do with the 15 G League guys that are playing. I mean, that was the preview show. We just clicked on everybody in Utah. IC3, you had the big takedown, near takedown the other day.
Last night, literally last night.
All the days blend together. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And then he immediately pays it back to the family. 5 memberships gifted.
See,
Gotta love it.
It was vape. Keith Vape. Knew it. I knew it was a vape.
You got it right. BK Style, Molly, Matthew, A1, and
good to you, IC3. You're the GOAT, bro.
All getting memberships here due to our guy IC3. You came in. Was that second, third last night in the $20 $20 4 max or
$4.20 max?
Yeah. Dude, I am all spun around right now.
You are going through it today.
I'm having a tough day. Tilted a little bit coming into the show, but we'll talk about that later.
Talk to the people.
Yeah, we're here. Do you have to play Joker to win tonight? Don't have to.
Well, let's revisit that conversation in a little bit.
Caress the like button. Please caress the like button.
Yes, be nice. Yes, agreed.
All right, enough of you guys right here again. We look for 100 likes every show. There's over 100 of you currently watching. So if you could caress the like button that you're liking here, Get us to those 100 likes. Let's get over 100 likes. That too would be great. You go to fantasystorm.com/YouTube, promo code YT50 will let you join the family for 50% off that first month. And we said on the preview show, but we'll say it again here now. If you guys change your avatar, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings, to the Fantasy Alarm logo, and finish top 5 in a contest with at least 1,000 entries or more, you get a free month of Fantasy Alarm as well. So all you got to do is finish top 5, 1,000 or more people in that contest. Screenshot us your placement with the Fantasy Alarm logo in there. DM us here, and we'll set you up with a free month of Fantasy Alarm to get you guys going there. So, all right, let's get it jumping. Jokic, SGA, and Jalen Johnson are you three guys up over $10,000. That brings us to SGA at 11-1. You got Giddey though checking in, Mr. Triple Double under $10,000 at $9,900. Murray, Flag, and Pajemski are your top 5. 8K and up tier here, Grande. But we had a pretty deep conversation last night about not necessarily needing to pay for SGA with the way Giddey's rolling right now. You can save the $1,200.
Yeah, Giddey is less than 1% rostered currently, which is something for sure. I mean, like, things got better for SGA today. No Hartenstein, which we kind of predicted. No Lou Dort, possibly no Chet Holmgren. So I don't hate the idea of getting to SGA. Obviously he's super expensive in a game that it's just a bad game. But without Chet, J-Dub, I mean, really good numbers for SGA, especially if Chet ends up getting ruled out. I find the Giddey ownership fascinating because it's not a good spot. Like, Toronto is a very good defensive team. Like, even post All-Star break where they've slipped a little bit, they still rank 10th in defensive rating. So it's a tougher spot, but like, there's been no indication that like the Bulls are going to start scaling back in terms of minutes or anything in that regard. So if this is a competitive game, Giddey's going to probably play around 40 minutes. Yes, Colin Sexton could be back, but it's only a 7-point spread, 236 implied points. I think Josh Giddey looks great in tournaments, especially when you consider Jamal Murray is getting like all the ownership at this tier. And I'm not saying that I hate the idea of getting to Jamal Murray. I think Jamal Murray is definitely a fine play. But for him to be 25%, only $900 more than Giddey, and Giddey to be 24% less owned is a little bit surprising when Nikola Jokic exists on Murray's side and Josh Giddey is Nikola Jokic on his side. So I'm definitely going to be underweight on the Murray. And like, if part of the equation of not playing Josh Giddey is blowout, well then why is Jamal Murray 25% rostered? Because that game could equally blow out. I mean, that game is actually a 13-point spread. Memphis 13-point dogs at home. That's where the calculation, the math ain't mathin' for me, John. So I'm definitely overweight on Giddey and underweight on Jamal Murray when it comes to this the top tier point guard.
Yeah. When we do work our way down this position a little bit more from just an ownership standpoint, we do hit the mid-range. A couple of guys here probably worth discussing. You mentioned DeJounte Murray is actually going to be in tonight. We talked about him mentioned him on the preview show about being questionable. He is in with the illness. Garland's also in at $7,900. Garland's not getting the ownership. Murray is, but two guards that are really playing well and playing against each other tonight.
Yeah, I have interest in both. We'll start Garland, just going from top to bottom here. He's going to play tonight. He's not going to play tomorrow. We know there's no Ben Mathurin. No official word on Kawhi yet. He's still listed as questionable. But without Mathurin, 31.5% usage, 1.2 fantasy points per minute. It's a really good game environment. Like New Orleans has played at the 4th fastest pace since the All-Star break. That obviously has to do with DeJounte's return, right?
Yeah.
They're 8-5 since the break, and DeJounte has been in for most of them. So I really, really, really like Garland. And like, plus you're looking at Darius Garland. It's a 1.5 point spread. We still don't have confirmation if Kawhi Leonard is not in, it is literally Darius Garland. It's his show.
Yeah.
We've seen at times, in the past when he was with Cleveland, when there was no Donovan Mitchell, that was a 9K player. Like that was a player that has 50, 60 fantasy point upside. So I like Garland, honestly, whether or not Kawhi plays. But if Kawhi's out, he's one of the best per dollar plays this slate. And then DeJounte, I mean, there's not a lot of things to say. It is truly incredible what he's doing coming off the injury that he's coming off. He leads the Pelicans in both usage rate and fantasy points per minute since returning. 29% usage, 1.36 fantasy points per minute, 30 plus minutes in 3 of 4, and the one game where he doesn't get 30 minutes, it's a blowout, right? So he doesn't even have to play. And he, has just been incredible in basically every area, which you just don't see. Like,
No.
You don't. You just don't see someone coming off an Achilles looking this good. And he obviously waited like on the longer end of the return, but Garland and Murray stand out pretty much above everyone else in this range. Like I don't have any objection to Emmanuel Quickly in this spot. We know he has a ceiling. I don't have any objection to Ty Jerome. We know he has a ceiling. The next name we'd probably talk about is DiVincenzo and his ownership tonight.
Yeah, DiVincenzo coming off of an 0 for 8. Apologies to those of you who tailed the over 12.5 point play yesterday. Missed every shot he took. Couldn't do anything about that. 27% though, going back to the well here tonight at $6,000.
Yeah, yesterday's yesterday. Today is a new day. They're down 2 guys that are super high usage on a team that already struggles playing. Like there is a trust circle in Minnesota and no new people enter that trust circle, right?
Yeah.
They played 8 guys without Edwards last night, even in a game that Naz Reid left. So at one point they had 7 players playing and that was it. They were just comfortable with it. Now, do I think like somebody enters that circle tonight? Like, do they bring someone else into the fold? Yes, I do.
Gonna need at least one body, right? At least one body needs to join with readout, right? So.
Well, no. That's not what I'm saying. They have the available players.
Sure.
They just don't use them. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna have to at least use one other person.
We
right?
think. We think.
Okay.
Hey, Bones, you got 35 in you today.
Yeah, I guess they could play him 40. That's true. They don't have to.
No, like Terrence Shannon, and if like Jalen Clark were to play, those would be the 2 guys that I would expect to join. Well, Slow-Mo's already there, Gullo. We're including Slow-Mo he's in the circle of trust.
Yeah.
Chris Finch made that clear the second that they reacquired him. They asked him, he's like, yeah, he's playing tonight. So he's in, but like, that's why DiVincenzo looks good. Like he's going to presumably get another 30 minutes and it's Utah. Like it's as good of a matchup as we're possibly going to get. So I think DiVincenzo looks quite good. No, again, DFS is named Daily Fantasy Sports for a reason. We need to have goldfish memory and move on to
forget yesterday on to today because he could go for 45 fantasy points tonight.
Yes.
He's very alive to do so. AJ Mitchell's getting a little bit of love, 5K for him.
He's good. And they're shorthanded today, so shorter-handed. We rightly predicted Isaiah Hartenstein being out. He doesn't play back-to-backs. The Lou Dort downgrade mattered quite a bit today, and we don't know if Chet's going to play. So like it's SGA, and then there typically is, but there's like such a large gap in between SGA and everybody else on the team. Yeah. Mitchell's already been in the starting lineup. He's already played 27 plus minutes in all 4 games since returning, and he's scored you 25 plus fantasy points in 3 of the 4. with Chet and with Hartenstein, and like now they're just shorthanded against a bad Brooklyn team where SGA might not play in the fourth quarter. So yeah, I'm in on AJ Mitchell at 5K for sure. Now, I do have a gripe that both AJ Mitchell and SGA can't both be starting a point guard, but that's for a different discussion. Wouldn't mind if AJ Mitchell had shooting guard eligibility as well, but we could table that discussion for another day.
A couple of point guards getting a little bit of ownership here. Bones Highland is your highest roster point guard at 42%. He is 38% at $4,200. Jamal Shed checking in at 22% as well. He is $3,500 here. What are we making of the value here?
Yeah, Bones. I mean, Bones looks great. Bones is obviously volatile because he's Bones Highland, and we've seen that dating back to his days with the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
And he is not afraid to shoot. He has never seen a shot he doesn't like, but that's not always a good thing. But it's Utah, and it's an elite spot, and he is in the trust tree. And Anthony Edwards put him there, right? Anthony Edwards said to play him, and then he's played ever since. So I think Bones looks good. I mean, Jamal Shed's minutes have trended way up. And obviously that's worth mentioning.
We've hit the Jamal Shed minute cycle, right? Like it's like a moon cycle almost. It's like, it's full moon and then it goes down and you don't get to see him and then he comes back around and you got another full moon worth of Jamal Shed minutes here.
He should be. I mean, it should just be Jamal Shed minutes all the time. He is like just a very good two-way basketball player. That's not the case, and that's unfortunate for Jamal Shed, but I think he looks pretty good here. Yeah, I don't have like any objection to anyone getting to Jamal Shed. He's pretty popular, but he's 3,500 going to play low 20s minutes or mid 20s minutes and get one of the best matchups on the board.
All right, we'll talk about everyone else here at shooting guard.
Except Nembhard, unless Nembhard started. We don't know. Gafford's questionable. Gafford could come back here. Yeah, Ryan Nembhard. Sorry, that was a good catch. Definitely not Andrew because Indiana's a nightmare again. Ryan Nembhard, 3,600. If he were to start again, I would have interest.
Okay. I mean he's 1% right now, but obviously that would change if the lineup.
Yeah, it's because Gafford's getting a ton of ownership. So like if Daniel Gafford doesn't play, that ownership spikes. I guess like I would. I don't think you have to do this.
Can you give us a Bez mention?
I wasn't going to. Conchar was upgraded today. Filipowski's. I don't want to deal with Utah, honestly.
You definitely don't have to, right? I mean,
you don't have to.
Cody Williams, we talked about, but like, there's no guarantee that he plays all the minutes he's been playing if guys are going to be upgraded today.
Yeah, so. I don't have like, and it's an 8-game slate. Like, you don't have to do that. Like you don't have to play
yourself and play Utah tonight. Yeah.
Like, and that was what I was gonna say. Like, I could even make a case for some Brooklyn stuff because they also downgraded Michael Porter. They also downgraded Ben Serif. Right, those are two players that have been playing a lot of minutes. But again, that feels like torture. And
forcing in some ETN tonight. Just
that was what I was going to say because we know like. Whether or not Nolan Triori starts, Nolan Triori doesn't play anymore. They hate Nolan Triori. So I do think. Well, let me ask you: is this ETN or is this HN?
Dude, I was literally about to ask you the same thing. I was like, do you think he also goes by HN or what are we?
I hope if the media was if Brooklyn media was any good, we'd already have that question answered. But I mean, just like it's torture. So I don't know if we need to do it.
Let's go to shooting guard here. Jaylen Brown, $9,200. Ingram, 83. Pods, we kind of talked about on the preview show. And did we mention? I don't think we mentioned him here, but we weren't really interested in them anyways.
Who, Pods?
Yeah, at the price.
No, only Steve Kerr's interested in him.
Yeah. So Brown, Ingram, Murphy, NAW here.
Let's stay off my grass is yelling at us constantly about Mitchell or Dosunmu.
Where? We're about to talk about IO.
I know.
Let us get to IO. And then we'll talk IO or AJ. We got you though. Stay off my grass. We'll hit you there.
We're being yelled at. I mean, that's what he is. Literally, his name tells you that he's yelling at people.
Grande's got a few top fives this year. What do you mean either of us? Grande's got takedowns last year. But, that's fine. That's fine.
We've had good success. Stay off my grass for in the DFS streets, brother. I like Brandon Ingram tonight in tournaments quite a bit. The Bulls are terrible defensively. They're missing their top perimeter defender in Isaac Okoro. The minutes are just absurd for Ingram recently. He's the one guy that the Raptors are consistently just extending 38, 39, 39 minutes. They need to win games to stay out of the play-in with how well like Atlanta and Orlando and are playing, and those two teams are trying to force their way up the standings. So I think Ingram in a competitive game again plays like 38, 39 minutes. So I actually do like him here. JB is fine. I have no like objection to getting to Jaylen Brown ever. We know he has a massive ceiling. Bad game environment, but that didn't necessarily matter against Phoenix. That game was a bad game environment, and he went crazy. Do I think Jaylen Brown's going to take 21 free throws a night? No, I don't. But again, 2 of the last 3 games, another guy who's played 40 plus minutes. So if we're going to start getting JB endlessly playing 40 minutes, then
he's under 10% like the entire field is, because 2 guys at this position, one we talked about, one we will talk about, are getting a combined 96% of the ownership. So
yeah, one of the guys that Stay Off McGrath is screaming at us about. Trey Murphy looks good in tournaments, and we had an NAW question. I think it was from Rosie or Rossi or Rossi. 7,400. I mean, coming off a ceiling game, obviously it's a little bit chasey, but Dallas it's a great matchup for all Atlanta. So I would be okay with NAW as well.
Daniels is 7K in that same matchup. You do have Sensabaugh, who again we can't really talk about Utah. They played him 23 minutes, even though he was cooking the other day. Yeah. CJM is getting 10%, and then like I said, everybody else is under 10. But Najee Marshall has been really good. If Gafford plays, are you any less likely to play Najee tonight? Like you need him in the starting lineup, or what's your take here?
Yeah, we need him in the starting lineup. I think they would start him and they'd move Nembhard back to the bench. But yes, we need him to start. He still has he's over a fantasy point per minute with Gafford. Like PJ takes a big hit with Gafford back. That's the one
at the 5.
Yeah, when you look at PJ Washington's numbers with Gafford, they look much worse. Najee's 23% usage over a fantasy point per minute. Over 20% assist percentage as well. So I really like Najee Marshall. I think De'Anthony Melton is really interesting in tournaments, specifically tournaments, because he does have like a really wide range of outcomes. But I mean, look at 3 of the last 4 games. De'Anthony Melton's given us 40 fantasy points. And the most important thing is twice in that span, he's played 30 minutes. 30 minutes in the Washington game in regulation was the first time he's done so all year. The 30 minutes against Houston was an overtime game where he played half of overtime just to keep him at 30 minutes. So, yeah, I think Melton is definitely an interesting tournament play. It would be him and Najee here. I know you mentioned McCollum. He's always in play because he has a scoring ceiling.
Are you off of Cody Williams tonight?
Yeah, I just don't like care for like a max price Cody Williams. Like I can acknowledge that he's playing well because I'm a hater for sure. I can acknowledge he's playing well.
He had like an 11% usage rate earlier.
Yeah, until literally this stretch where half the games he still had like a 11% usage rate. He was just doing more and playing more. Like minutes are king in this space, but I just don't feel the need to. Dude, both my kids are sick, and I have too much stress in my life to worry about what to do with Utah. I don't need anything else.
We'll make it easy for you and for Stay Off My Grass with this question as well. So Io's getting almost 60%
Yeah,
ownership. So him or AJ Mitchell's the question he has. I mean, Io's obviously in an elite spot, going to play a whole bunch of minutes, but he's also 60% rostered. I would say, like, if you really have to choose, I'd rather just go with the chalk. But if you're in a larger tournament and you want to play AJ Mitchell, you can. But there's a significant ownership difference between the two. And if Io goes out and has a big game tonight, then you're going to be, probably out of the money. So
this feels like a FanDuel question to me.
It is. Yeah, he plays on FanDuel.
It's FanDuel. I mean, I think like Io is the better play. He's even cheaper on FanDuel. Like AJ Mitchell's $5,800 on FanDuel, so there's no discount there. I mean, I would just go Io. It's an easy click for me. I mean, he took 17 shots. He played 34 minutes yesterday. Whatever the outcome of the performance doesn't necessarily matter. There's
usually gives you some defensive stats, though. We haven't gotten any in a handful of games, but you usually get, it's averaging almost a steal per game as it is on the year. So
yeah, without a steal in 6 games, right?
Yeah. And Utah, not exactly, a non-turnover team, like.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to. I mean, like every chalk play is fadeable. Like not every play is like every chalk you have to play.
Absolutely.
But I do, especially at 5K on DraftKings specifically, shooting guard, small forward, 5K. It's hard to pass that up.
I agree. Let's just get to we did mention quickly, but if you want to just recap quickly for our guy here.
Yeah, tournaments. I mean, he has a super high ceiling.
Do you like both Io and Mitchell in the lineup? Yeah, you can play them both. Absolutely.
I mean, things get better for Mitchell if Chet ends up being ruled out too. Like that, if there's no Chet, then we have it. It's going to be a 2-man offensive orchestra there with SJ and AJ Mitchell.
Yeah. Anything else here at shooting guard for value? He mentioned Clayton. What are your thoughts on Memphis here tonight?
It's disgusting. I mean, I'm okay with Walter Clayton's minutes. It is worth mentioning, like, some of the minutes lately have been without Ty Jerome. We know, I mean, they're healthier than they've been in a while. Typically, that means we're going to get two-way guys out. Earlier today, it was just Jemai Mashik listed on the injury report, but it wasn't even for his two-way status. It was for an actual injury. Memphis is just a situation I don't want a lot to do with, especially when they're this healthy. All their 10 days are still available. Like Giroux and Burton are still available. If it's like just Jemai Mashik sitting, I mean, it's just not a thing I care to another situation I don't need to stress in my life. If I'm playing Memphis, it's probably just Ty Jerome. Even I like Jalen Wells last game. Jalen Wells ended up only playing 23 minutes because these teams realize, like, oh, we can't play players too much, or we have run the risk of possibly winning games that we can't right now.
Yep. Jordan Miller's around 6%. Obviously, Garland's in. There's no Mathurin and maybe no Kawhi. Miller stand out to you here?
Yeah, Miller's definitely in play. He's definitely a candidate to pick up the Mathurin role off the bench, and he's already played. I wrote in the playbook, he's played 23 plus minutes in 13 of 14 games, or 12 of his last 13 games, and we've gotten a 40 fantasy point ceiling. So yeah, I think Jordan Miller looks pretty good, and even if Kawhi sits, like, I don't expect Miller to start. They've typically started Kobe Sanders when someone from their starting lineup's been out. But I do think whether it's Kobe Sanders starting or Kawhi starting, like, Jordan Miller's role is going to be super solid off the bench.
Yeah. Anything else here at shooting guard? You can obviously play Bones Highland here. That's why I said Bones is over 40% and Io's over almost 60%. So these two guys are just dominating positional eligibility here.
Anything else to talk about? I don't think so. Like Dillingham would become more interesting if Colin Sexton were to be ruled out. Golden State started Will Richard 32 played him 32 minutes. He literally didn't make a shot the other day, but they started him. If they did it again, I don't think so though.
Okay.
We just had a dono, John, from Yobi Trice here.
Love it.
We appreciate the dono. You definitely do not have to do that, dude, but we appreciate it tremendously.
Give his opinion on Nembhard, Bones, Miller, Randall, So this is his lineup. Not a big fan of Johnson at 5,500 left for forward, he says. Cam Johnson. So he's got Cam Johnson. He's at 5,500 left.
This is a...
feels like a FanDuel.
No, it's DraftKings. He's Pirtle and Jokic.
Oh, yeah, Util. Yeah.
5,500 for a forward. I don't really like Cam J either, but he is playing without Aaron Gordon tonight. I mean, you could play Desunmu there. I would be perfectly comfortable with playing 3.
You also got to be careful with Nembhard. He may not start, and then
yeah, I would play Desunmu over Cam Johnson in that lineup. And then
I would even consider not playing Joker and playing like Jalen Johnson tonight and save some money if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk Jokic obviously in a little bit. I think if Cam J is the guy that you're most hung up on, you just play IO at 5,000 and you move on from there.
Yeah. All right, small forward, Kawhi 97. If he's in, you said you were in on the previous show. Still hanging the same for you.
Yeah, 1.6 fantasy points per minute, almost a 40% usage rate with Mathurin, Harden, and Zubats off the floor this year, which obviously they've been traded. So, yeah, fully in.
We talked JB already. There's Denny here as well. Denny's getting 15%. He is the highest of the top group. Kawhi is 13. RJ Barrett's getting 20% at $7,300. Bazelis is going under 10% for Montes here.
Yeah, I think Denny is great. If you look at the defensive rating since the All-Star break, nobody is worse than the 0-14 Indiana Pacers. They are the worst team since the break. They're the only team in the NBA who has not won a basketball game since the All-Star break. They also happen to rank dead last in defense. They also happen to rank 9th in pace. So, like, there's a lot to like about teams. We just saw it with the Knicks last night. Even in 3 quarters, they had 3 players optimal. Josh Hart, Jose Alvarado, and OG Anunoby were all fantastic. So, hard for me not to love Denny tonight. This is an upside game if it can stay competitive enough. Buzelis has a ceiling. You know, he's going to play low to mid 30s minutes.
Yeah.
We have gotten obviously the best version of him down the stretch with where their season has gone. And that obviously helps tremendously when like they trade half their team, they're looking to develop him and he has. So in tournaments for sure. I think RJ looks pretty good. I mean, 35 and 39 minutes in back-to-back games. 27 and 22 actual points. Like, he is a really high usage player. And we've kind of talked about the randomness of Quickly. Like, sometimes he shoots, sometimes he doesn't. We've talked about how Scotty Barnes seems to be in like a weird offensive place, and Ingram and Barrett have really, carried the load offensively. So if RJ Barrett is up to nearly 40 minutes a night, then I'm definitely in.
Yeah, it's it's just a good matchup for Toronto today. You can really see any of them going off, but it's just the way RJ we've seen this year. It felt like he's always been the most consistent of the group when he's been healthy, right? Like, we've seen spike games from Ingram and Quickly and Barnes, but for a lot of this season, you almost could just lock in RJ for giving you like almost that number 2 man production. The 20 points, the handful of assists and rebounds, and someone else would have the huge ceiling game. And then he would occasionally have his own ceiling. So I definitely like that for sure. We did have a dono from our guy Rolly. He had a couple of nice finishes there of late. Appreciate you, sir. And Yobi had the wrong lineup there. So he took out Jokic and Kim and Miller, put in Jalen Johnson, Io, and Gobert. So
There's been a couple Minnesota comments about having 4. I think 4 is fine when you consider like they're pretty cheap. Like Randall is the only like really and expensive is not even like a real thing, but Bones and Kyle Anderson are both low 4s. Like I don't think 4K is too, or 4 Timberwolves is too expensive at all.
Jaden McDaniels last night, 16, 7, 4, 1, and 3. You also kind of commented on the preview show. He did a lot of that early. Didn't really do much of it late, but it didn't really matter. He still finished out of there with almost 40 fantasy points. Much more expensive tonight, but another really good matchup. McDaniels among the 4 you'd be willing to play today?
Yeah, I think there's always something to be said about like you take a really chalky team and like you can say like you can look at like, okay, Io's getting ownership, Bones is getting a lot of ownership, Julius Randle's getting a lot of ownership. It's always interesting to know because like everyone can't play everyone in the rotation. McDaniels and Rudy Gobert are like the 2 guys in their rotation not getting as much ownership as the others. So like from that standpoint, that would be the most appealing thing about Jaden McDaniels, that he's the lowest owned of like their top 7. That would be why I would play Jaden McDaniels. I don't think he is like he's a 0.9 like 0.93 fantasy point per minute player without Ant this year. He's 0.99 without Ant and Naz Reid. So like that's solid. But I do think, you know, looking at the situation, I want Jaden because he's the lowest owned of their top 7.
Yeah, I mean, again, the leverage there on a chalky team, I don't mind it coming off of a pretty good game for him there. Anything others and before we hit the value range that you'd discuss?
Anything other before we hit the value range? We talked Marshall, we talked Melton, Jaden. No, I saw Stay Off My Grass talking about Derek Jones. I'm indifferent. I don't think he has like he's had a couple good games. I don't play a lot of Derek Jones. Just play Io there. No.
Okay. From an ownership perspective, Kobe Brown is getting 20% here.
Yeah, I just don't know like what to make of. I just knowing Siakam and Toppin are out helps Kobe Brown quite a bit. Like those 2 players and everyone else is basically listed questionable. Such a stressful situation, dude. Nembhard, Zubats, Neesmith, Potter, McConnell, Quentin Jackson, Ben Shepherd, all listed on the injury report again. It's just like, dude, another situation where there's 7 guys on the injury report. If 5 of them are ruled out, then yeah, Kobe Brown looks better. Not that he doesn't look bad, but
yeah,
I don't know. And I'm indifferent until we know more of who's in and out for Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of other ownership. I mean, Jacoby Walter's getting like 5%, Leonard Miller's 7%, Herb Jones 7%.
Yeah, Leonard Miller's ownership would go up if Sexton's ruled out. That's exactly what will happen. But if Sexton plays, obviously that's going to be different. I would say we'll see what happens with OKC's starting lineup, because there are like plays here that we could get to. Like if Chet doesn't play, obviously Jay Will is going to start. Jay Will might start anyway, but because Brooklyn does run like double big, but we've seen this before where OKC is not afraid to also just start one big and then play like Aaron Wiggins or something. So like if Aaron Wiggins were to get a start, I would have some interest as well.
Okay. Moving on over to power forward. Up at the top is Jalen Johnson. You have Denny, Tatum, maybe Chet, maybe not. Barnes and Randall at 81. Obviously, Randall, as we assumed last night, was going to be the highest rostered of the group. He's 33%.
Yeah. he looks. I mean, don't need to overthink it too much. Massive leads in usage rate, leads in fantasy points per minute with no Nas. The minutes are going to be very secure without Nas Reed. Everything's gonna funnel through Randall. Just hope the game stays close. Yeah, that's it. But I do obviously have interest in the other, like Jalen Johnson. This is an elite spot against a team that allows a lot of points in the paint for a guy that gets to the rim at will.
Does anything he wants, really.
Yeah, he's just an elite basketball player. So, there's obviously a massive ceiling when it comes to Jalen Johnson. He fills up the stat sheet like really, really fast. Nothing towards, like, I have no feelings really towards Tatum. Like, if you end up playing an $8,700 Jason Tatum, okay. And if you don't, like, also okay. Chet, no. Even if he plays Scotty, it's a great spot, and he finally had like a good game.
Yeah,
they've been so far few in between. I
meant to check what how many potential rebounds he actually had in that game. If he was like a 10 of 10, or if he actually had a lot of rebound opportunities.
Pearl had 18 rebounds in the game too.
So
I don't know how.
So Scotty still had 21 chances in that game.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Considering that he had 10, 10, 7, 8, 4, 5, 7 before that. He went to 21 in that game. So
I mean, he's good. Like, he's really good at everything he does. We just, when he does it is the problem.
Feels like another good night though to take the under rebounds on him. I mean, like that
against Chicago.
At 7.5 tonight
against Chicago.
I mean,
a lot of bricks. There's gonna be a lot of bricks on one side.
21 rebound chances. I don't know.
That's a lot of opportunity.
If he gets them again, he's only been getting 10 or less all the other games. So
yeah,
it's good. We'll see. Again, hard to get there anyways when Randall's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And obviously the spot he's in. If you go a little bit lower, you have Zion at 78. But you've kind of talked about when DeJounte's active, the use of rate gets sapped.
Yeah.
They just ruled in Post and Peyton. Not that we were going to play Santos anyways, but just a little shout for the Golden State side of things here. Anything else in this mid-range for you, power forward?
Steve Kerr's talking to the media. Steve Kerr on Kristaps Porzingis rising minutes limit. Quote, he's ready to start. He may even start tonight.
There you go. Would you play a was it a $6,200?
Hell yeah.
Versus the Boston Celtics tonight.
Yeah. This is like, he's like one of those players that is missing shots not because the defense bothers him.
Yeah, right.
He's 7'3". He's just missing shots. Like he can shoot from 30. He can post you up.
I think that was my favorite stat of him during the Celtics championship years, that he had the longest average distance like of made three.
Like, dude, he is crazy.
Like he's
crazy.
He's way behind the line, but he's got 20-foot wingspan, so it didn't seem that way.
Like we talked about it on the show the other day. We had kind of thought like no injury report, like he's not on the injury report for the first time. The minutes had already been trending up, and then he plays mid-20s. If we're getting, and I don't want to like necessarily buy into what Steve Kerr is saying, because that's like a very dangerous game to trust Steve Kerr. But like in a competitive game, you're getting a Kristaps Porzingis who, with Golden State so far, 85 minutes, 1.7 fantasy points per minute, 33% usage rate. He's not going to take 14 free throws, I don't think. But he has a significantly higher priced player when he's playing anywhere near 30 minutes than he is right now. So I saw him give a quote earlier where he's like, I'm healthy again, so I'm enjoying playing, like I'm really enjoying playing basketball again. He's one of my favorite tournament plays. I wonder what the ownership gets to if he ultimately does start, and Steve Kerr's kind of tipping his hand that looks like he's gonna start. I'm in quite a bit, because I do think based on all what we're seeing, that like 30 minutes could possibly be on the table for KP here.
Yeah, obviously a
also
tremendous
Chris,
feeling for him there.
also
so.
Chris, the problem with Sensabaugh here is that they're just limiting him. They're not playing these dudes. Like they were doing it with Keontae before he got hurt. They're doing it with Collier. They are doing it with Sensabaugh.
It felt great when I at least thought he was going to play 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, they're like 23, haha. And, and now you can't trust it because you have no idea what's going to happen at this point. So at least with Keontae, they were playing him 30 a night and you kind of knew that was going to happen. So,
Key, we just literally spent 5 minutes on Porzingis. So I don't know if you're watching on a little bit of a delay here, but if you are, welcome to the future. And
play hard. He's gonna play. He's asking, do we think he's gonna play hard? I don't think he's gonna play any extra harder than he would. Porzingis actually was very sad to leave Boston.
Yes, he did. He understood it because he's been traded more than like anyone in the history of the NBA.
But he really liked his time. He didn't have any sort of like cryptic comments like Al Horford did when he was like,
well,
we'll talk. It's for a conversation another day or whatever it was. Why he left? It's like, Al, what are we doing?
Yeah, KP also is like, I won a title here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would have loved to see Porzingis hang around, but he just made too much money.
Yeah.
Got to get under the double luxury tax the Celtics are here.
Yeah.
So.
PJ Washington, if Daniel Gafford's out, Jalen Williams will be probably the highest rostered player of the night if Chet ultimately gets ruled out.
Let's see, 5K right down
6K.
6K. Oh yeah, we had this conversation last night, right? Where am I? I'm in the wrong position. I was looking at Sensible. I'm like, where are these guys? All right. Porzingis, Washington, Jalen Williams were the three we talked about on the show. So, and we agreed that you would play Jalen Williams if Chet was to be ruled out here.
Yes.
Some players play soft on formers. I don't believe.
I disagree completely.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Where else do we go once we get John Collins for you?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
No objection. I think it's hilarious that the field wants to play Spencer Jones. He is just like not like a great fantasy player. And by great, I mean, he's not even like a good fantasy player. But the field's getting to a lot of Spencer Jones. So
I mean, listen, Denver's projected for almost like 130 team points tonight. So like, I understand the appeal.
Yeah. I like every position has had a highly owned Nuggets player.
Yeah. But I feel like the implied points has so much to do with that, and I'm just worried.
It's baked in, yeah, it's baked in for sure.
Just worried that we have what we have happen, where these guys don't play all the minutes. So Spencer Jones would probably play the minutes.
Kyle Anderson's the guy down here for me. 25 minutes last night.
Have you ever said that in your life?
I did. I played him on his magical night in Utah earlier in the year when they played the Clippers when they had 8 guys.
22-8.
He had the 22-8. They had 8 players in that. That was the game Kawhi had like 55 through 3 quarters or whatever. And I played him on that night. I'm gonna double down tonight. Like he's one of 7 guys that we know are gonna play. We don't know who the 8th guy is gonna be, but it could be Baronier, could be, if Jalen Clark plays. Like we don't know who it's gonna be. Terrence Shannon. So I think Kyle Anderson looks pretty good at 4K for sure.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Not really.
No, we could do. No, let's go to center.
At center, you have this man, Nikola Jokic. He played 25 minutes last game, 8, 7, and 14. He took 7 shots. Didn't need to play much because they won by 30. They're a 13-point favorite today, so could very well happen again where he doesn't play any minutes, or this game ends up being strangely competitive because Ty Jerome scores 30 actual, maybe, and you get 40 minutes out of Joker and he breaks the slate. I don't think you need him tonight. Like I said, I'd rather probably play Jalen Johnson for cheaper in a what's supposed to be a more competitive matchup and still a high-scoring game. But I'm never going to tell you not to play Nikola Jokic in 2026. If it was 2022, I was, but
yeah, you sure were. If it was 2022, you'd be like, "What are you guys on drugs?" Yeah, 246 implied points in a Nikola Jokic game. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a lot, obviously. And you mentioned it; they're almost implied 130 points. That's like it's a tricky one because like they could blow Memphis out, and it's because of Jokic just going crazy. You know, like Jokic could be the primary reason as to why.
He was the primary reason they blew out Philadelphia last night. It just came on the way of 14 assists.
But like we could get the script writers could give Jokic 50 tonight. You know, so
Good.
Like
could give us this right here. 25 minutes. He went for 31, 12, and 5 against the Clippers, right?
What I'll say is, you know, if you're playing single entry or if you're playing cash, you know that Nikola Jokic is going to be highly rostered. So you have to weigh your thoughts on the game. If you think the game stays competitive and Jokic is getting fourth quarter minutes, then he's going to go for 65 fantasy points minimum. You honestly at 12.5, you want 70 plus. So, you know,
we just got an ownership refresh, and Gafford dropped in ownership down to like 14%. Jokic is 25%.
Yeah, he's going to be incredibly popular. Him and Kyle Anderson are going to get
Will is 17%. Jalen Smith is 7%. So like some value plays here. We did have a Gobert question. He is also getting some ownership tonight.
I played Rudy last night. I played him in DFS, and I played his rebound prop last night. And, you know, he's a 1.1 fantasy point per minute player without Anthony Edwards and Naz Reid. And I think, like, he falls into the Jaden McDaniels category for me, where Rudy Gobert and the ownership is kind of up on Rudy. He's now like the 5th highest rostered center. But when you're looking at Minnesota, Rudy Gobert is the 5th highest rostered center on the day. He's the 6th highest rostered T-Wolf on the day. You know, like, I like him quite a bit in tournament. Sorry, I'm distracted. Everyone just keeps yelling. It's crazy. Cody Williams, Chris, we just told you we wouldn't play Sensabaugh because of the minutes. So Cody Williams. Yeah, I think Gobert looks great in tournaments. I think after Jokic, that's probably the next guy I would get to. Klingon, obviously, TBD if Robert Williams ends up.
Yeah, Rob Williams getting ownership too. People going that way.
Yeah, Rob Williams getting ownership. Rob Williams has been super sick per minute.
We had Pirtle on the preview show cover because, you know, I still find him to be in a really good matchup today. From an ownership perspective, he's coming around 10% tonight. Maybe that goes up if Gafford gets ruled out. I don't know, but what are your thoughts on Jakob Pirtle here?
Yeah, I wrote him up. I think he's fine. He's fantasy point per minute. It's a great spot. Nothing bad to say about Pirtle. I think that he has a really high ceiling and he has a really low floor. But you know, in tournaments you're chasing ceiling, so you see, look at the last 4 games for a perfect example. He has a 50-point ceiling and a 14-point floor. There's a 40-point discrepancy between his floor and his ceiling. You chase that in tournaments, right? Like you chase the ceiling. So yeah, I think if you are playing tournaments and chasing ceiling, Jakob Pirtle is a good play.
Coach Jalen Williams is here. If Chet gets ruled out, he would probably also just shoot up the ownership rankings there.
Jalen Smith.
Yeah, Jalen Smith's getting about 20%. So
yeah, I mean, another player with a high ceiling, and the minutes and the calf injury or the lack of a calf injury, you know, now that he's not in the injury report, seem to be behind him, and now the minutes are soaring up. So, I have no objection to Jalen Smith.
And the Chet may not play today, so we can't load up on. You can load up on SGA if you want. But.
It's also just one of those things where, like, you can look at a spot like that and be like, wow, look at OKC should smash Brooklyn tonight. But that doesn't make it like a good DFS play, you know, because like you're playing Chet, you need like 50 and you need 60 plus from SGA. And it's possible to get them both to have like ceiling games at the same time. But the likelihood of it is so low that you get 110 fantasy points from them Since if you want to win a tournament, you need 110 fantasy points from them to take it down. So I'm not playing both of
them. If Gafford plays, what do you think for minutes for him? Because he was starting to trend up, and then he gets sick again, and who knows?
Yeah, I wrote him up. I think he looks good. I mean, he got up to 27 minutes. He's five straight double doubles, and he's a really good fantasy player in a 238 implied total. And I don't think I mean, we probably won't know before lock whether there's a minutes restriction or not, but it's an illness. So if he's cleared from the illness, he had previously been dealing with an ankle injury, and that's kind of what he was working up in terms of minutes from. Now that we're past that ankle, if he plays, I don't suspect there would be any type of limitations.
It's just that he's missed a handful of games now.
Because the illness, It is a good point. Daniel Gafford is made of the same glass that Anthony Davis is made out of.
Yeah. Ace Bailey in, Conchar in.
Yeah, this is just making. Why would you ever want to play anything Utah? Makes it. I saw. Where was it? Our boy Doug asked about Anderson Garcia. This doesn't help.
No.
That those two players are in. Filipowski's available. He wasn't available last game. We had the Sensabaugh and I don't want anything to do with Utah. I didn't write a single player up for Utah today, and none of this has made it any better.
If Gafford plays, is he better than Pirtle?
Yes.
Probably. Are you playing Rob Will if he's in at 43?
I'd be okay with Rob Will, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, dude, he is really good per minute. They need to just need to set his price around 5K and just leave it, just make him 5K because he is super, super productive. And then, yeah, that's probably it. Shibwe was getting ownership earlier today. That's kind of fallen. I don't know if you saw early ownership was Jock Landale was the most popular play of the day. I found that hilarious. That was one of those where obviously we're just waiting for value to open up.
Are we playing 4?
I mean, like I said, I have no objection to playing 4. I think I'm probably most comfortable with 3, but I am comfortable with 4 for sure.
I mean, Highland with Dosumo, McDaniels, Randall still gives you 66.50 a player, and there's other value you can get around to spend up. If Joker was your go-to there, Giddy is not Walmart SGA.
That is so funny. He's more of the Walmart Jokic type, because SGA is just out there being an assassin scoring the basketball, and Jokic is doing a little bit of everything, right? Not that SGA isn't, but Giddy's game is not anything like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's game.
If I was to play for Timberwolves, this is what I would do. I'd play Jalen Johnson, and then you get some value elsewhere. Get yourself up to hope Jalen Williams is in at center. Play him at center, or something like that.
I think I would probably play Gobert over Jaden.
Okay.
I don't hate Jaden, but I would probably
Gobert just doesn't. His scoring, I know the usage goes up, but he just has such a low point floor?
Gobert's a better fantasy player than Jaden McDaniels.
I mean, we've seen more ceiling games out of McDaniels this year, I feel than Gobert, but
Gobert has. I mean,
if he doesn't get 19 rebounds again, if he gets 15 rebounds, and you're in the 30s for fantasy points here.
Yeah, but you're also now removing all the minutes that Naz Reid played yesterday, and in an elite matchup where he's just going to get every rebound possible.
Again, I'm not opposed. You obviously he's more expensive, so now you're down to 5K player, but yeah, just some ways you guys can go here. Are we riding Boston to the cash?
We can. I mean, I don't know which.
You didn't really talk anything outside of Jaylen Brown and a slight mention on Jason Tatum for Boston.
Yeah, it's hard to it's hard to play anything other than those two players on Boston.
No one likes Gobert. IRL.
Yeah, he started COVID.
All right. So again, couple of different ways you can go. Again, I'm choosing Jalen Johnson over Jokic tonight. I don't really see a massive difference in what the ceiling is from a night to night basis, not from a ceiling to ceiling basis. Obviously, we've had 100-point games out of Joker, but I would save the money and play Jalen Johnson tonight over Nikola Jokic if I was picking one.
Okay,
that's just me.
I'm not objecting. I'm a Jalen Johnson #1 fan.
All right, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll have the preview show tonight for the tomorrow slate out later, probably way later. I got the FSGA baseball draft starting at 8, so a couple hours, then we'll record. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you later.